Good morning, guys. So I'm getting these nannies and their kids and ewe lambs and their lambs. I'm getting them ready to make a move through the gate into some oats that we had planted for them to start grazing. They've been on this pasture long enough and they're almost kitted and lambed out, and so I really want to start moving them, but I got to train them now to pick up their babies and move on through the pasture. Good morning, guys. Hey, Greg Christensen here, Grandview Livestock. I'm getting these, the ewe lambs with their lambs and these nannies with their kids. And we want them to move through a gate. This is about a 70-acre pasture that we kidded and lambed them out on, and now they're almost done here, and we just have to go through a gate into some oats, but it takes a while. You sort of need to train them. I don't need to move them today. This might be a process that takes a few days, but I need to teach them to pick up their babies and start heading that way, as we are going to strip graze some oats that we planted earlier this spring. You might remember that. And so you want to prepare to do this. You don't just want to jump out here and try to move them, before you really got them trained. So that's what I'm doing here now, is moving them towards the gate. And here later today we'll open the gate. And as they want to drift out, they can. And then there'll be a process, because you know how the kids will be laying around back in here, and it's a quarter mile here for them to get to the gate. Yeah, it's getting, you understand how trying to get these kids, and especially the kids. The lambs actually move a little better. The kids, their moms, if they're not with their moms, they don't move very good. And if they are with their moms, sometimes they don't stay. So you want to just train that into them. So far, see, I've just been coming out here and checking them and not trying to move anything, and not wanting them to be scared of me or move away from me so I can see them better. But now we need to change that, and they'll have to be trained. So it's a process, but don't neglect the process, because you'll end up with a bunch of orphans or mismothered or some other problems, along the way. So stockmanship is real important, and it's even more important than it is with the cows and calves, I think, when you're dealing with small ruminants here, because you got twins to deal with. So this is what makes it really difficult with your kids, is that you'll come along and you'll find two that's just off by themselves, no nanny around. See, nanny's off grazing somewhere, and those kids could just run off, take off running across the fence somewhere that you won't find them again. So you're better off just leaving them alone right now. That's why you want to practice this, and that nanny, let her come back later and pick them up, or they'll follow the group here, but don't try to push them too much. Once you get movement started, see, movement attracts movement, just like a magnet, and they'll kind of start flowing for you. Now they're going up in here with the rest of the group. See, if I wasn't out here with Autumn, they probably would kill her. But since I'm out here, they know me, they know they're supposed to leave her alone. Alright, walk up. See, she's kind of pretty gentle careful with those kids. She knows they might just squirt and go anywhere. Walk up. She's finally getting that, working with those kids down. It's taken a couple years, honestly. It takes a pretty well worked dog to handle nannies and kids or cows and calves or anything like that. The young dog just doesn't really get it. They don't grasp it usually. Walk up, push, push, push. Push, push, push. These triplets here are pretty new. They're gonna kind of have a tough time here, but that's all right. We can leave her back with them. We're not going through the gate yet this morning. There's a couple of different creek crossings here, well, actually 4 of them. I don't care which ones they take. I'll just let them pick out whichever one they want to go to. The creek's pretty dry. Normally we have to build kind of a bridge with some pallets across it, and it's a real struggle to get those kids across it. But we haven't had as much rain, nearly as much this spring, and so the creek is almost dry. It won't be hard for them to cross. So a lot of them are finding this creek crossing, taking their kids with them just like we want them to. Now you'll find that the lambs and the ewes move a little bit easier until one of them gets separated from its mom. And then it's even more determined to go back or to follow you or just to run off. But they're more inclined to stick with their moms better, and the moms will stick with their lambs better than nannies and their kids do. But you just gotta beware, because if they turn and run off, or if they're not paired up, then you're gonna have maybe more problem with them, because they'll just run off and run in the woods someplace. Alright, walk up. Walk up. Bottom. Several of them back here in the woods now. Autumn's kind of taking her time, letting them pair up, letting them see which way to go. Alright, push, push, push. So they're headed towards another creek crossing over here. There's a group right there that I'll push that way. What looks like a clean pasture though is not. there's kids lying under the trees there in a few spots. But that's okay. If this was a real move and I just had to have them across there, I'd be disappointed. Since this is a practice run, then this is really, it's worked out pretty well. There's some kids laying under there. Their mom's up in there somewhere, but I'm confident she's going to come back for them. That's why I'm not pushing them too hard. If I was to push them real hard, then yeah, they may not. He stressed them out. So don't make that mistake, of thinking you got everybody and leaving somebody behind and moving and closing the gate on them. I've done that before and I've learned not to do it. So see all those kids over there? And there's more than that too. But we have the lion's share of them across the creek now. And we'll set up a strip grazing cell in the oats there, and I'll open the gate. Maybe push some through this evening. But I'll leave the gate open. So here they are across the creek, most of them. Here's the gate we're going to go through. Here's the oats we're on, and we need to get on them. We're sort of waiting on these to get big enough to move a little bit and cross the creek, and the oats have just really come on here the last couple days. And we'll strip graze these oats, and there you see my house, the loafing barn, the working facilities. We get them up there, and then we've got more pasture on south of the house. So I guess I just stressed for you to take your time moving them where you want them to go when they got them babies on them. You end up with a mess. Looks like a beautiful day though.